Zoomers, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Woo-hoo. Feel the warmth in this room? Come on, we need it. Let's go. So my name's Jamie. I'm Chief Value Officer here. I'm just up here representing leadership, and everything that we bring to you really comes from you, and then we help facilitate it all for you. Who here loves cold calling other than Brian Amundsen? Who loves cold calling? Right,
better
love
love
it.
in January, all calling is cold.
That's exactly right. It's going to get even colder this weekend, every call you make. So be sure to make your calls today so you get some warm calls over the weekend so that you can try to stay a little warmer. So let's move forward. So over the weekend, don't worry. We've got it covered, Olivia and Megan, just in case it gets so cold. No. That we need to get here. She's got transportation ready. So thank you. That's pretty good. Any joke that you want to make with that?
Nope, leaving that alone.
Leaving it alone.
Leaving that one alone. Hey, here's a quarter, go watch Star Wars.
That's right. Hey, welcome, homeroom. All right, so as you know, this week or this month, we started off with Jared, and we're going to continue to build on his teachings. The ALC panel was lit. It was awesome. We're going to mention them here in just a bit. And then we have what I think we all take for granted is our own tech person, but our own tech person that really understands business and helping people grow. And then speaking of growth, we're going to look at the economic update and see what we can find out from Colin.
Jamie, I thought I was supposed to talk about AI, but it looks like I'm talking about Al.
Well, I mean, there's always a strategy for everything. So. Is there anywhere you want to go?
I just was curious why I'm talking about Al today. That was not my plan.
That's a capital I.
Oh.
That's a capital I. So, all right.
I'll be sure to talk about AI.
I know what that is. All right. Well, we're going to move on. Yeah. But play of the week. Let's give it up for our ALC members. ALC in the room. So all the other folks, look around, make sure you know that those are the people that are up and represent. And some of the things that came, well, first of all, if you didn't know, they they enjoyed a great clinic all day with James Shaw. They also dedicated a day for one another at a retreat, Advance. And they are often learning and trying to help this culture become greater and more inclusive. So some of the great quotes from last week are, "You are not alone in this business. It's way more fun playing in the sandbox together than by yourself." And my favorite is, "The better we become on the inside, the better we show up for clients, our families, and each other." So let's give it up for them again. Yay. MCA update. We don't have one still. And we're on. How's it coming?
Fine. I have a few phone screens this afternoon. I got a referral from one of you, Caitlin, yesterday. I don't think you're here yet, but any referrals that you have, I would greatly appreciate it. Everything is up and running fine. If you notice any delay in your commission check, that's my #1 priority. So if there happens to be a delay that I am unaware of, because I watch the tracking sheet, I know when you're getting paid versus when the file comes in. Now, if your file is incomplete and not compliant, that's on you, not on us, okay? But if there is a problem with your commissions, let me know so I can get that corrected. But as of yesterday, I haven't heard any issues. And then between Sienna and the one team, they're handling deposits and printing checks, last minute checks that you guys need for your closings, stuff like that.
Thank you.
Before you move on, Olivia, if someone's giving you referrals, can you talk about what kind of skill sets they would need to, yeah.
Where do I start? How much time do I have? I'm okay if they don't have a ton of accounting experience, but they need to be smart in order to figure it out, right? And so I figure out if they're smart enough by talking to them, to going through the interview process. I had I spent maybe 4 hours over Christmas when we were in Canada doing phone screens. And I need, whoever I'm going to interview, I need them to understand that it takes a couple of weeks for the process, right? By the time I can get them scheduled, get them in here for a KPA, get them in to meet the rest of the leadership team, do reference calls. It takes a couple of weeks. And I had a great candidate over Christmas, and I talked to her for about an hour on a Wednesday. would have been like the 30th. And Friday morning that week, so a day and a half later, she sent me an email and said I took a job. Okay, so you just wasted your time and mine. So like, I need somebody that understands this isn't a job, this is an opportunity, and it's going to take a little time for them and me to determine if it's a match. It's not just about us, right? Why are you laughing? Ow.
Ow.
Okay, so I mean, really, like, they need to be able to, you know, Gary Keller tells us there's no such thing as multitasking, and I need them to be organized where they can literally run the office so that the two of you can continue to grow the office. So they have to be able to, it's a massive job. And they need to understand accounting. I'm okay if they don't have a ton of experience, but they need to have leadership, and they need to like people.
Okay.
Smart.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you for the update.
Appreciate that.
Hey, Lou,
And
this DISC profile, Olivia,
I'm sorry?
disc profile DISC, what would they?
Good question.
CSI, probably SCI.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe some D2, everything, yep, yes.
Even across the board.
At all.
Gotta get through a
And,
job.
somebody online just
You
asked
should apply.
about,
You're like, even across the board.
somebody online just asked about 1099s, end of January, they've always been end of January. About 43 of you filled out the spreadsheet that the little questionnaire that we asked you to fill out, like for update, like how you want your 1099. Only 43 of you, and there's 175 of you, so some of you need to fill that out still, so we know where to send your 1099, if we're mailing it, we're emailing it, so those 1099 emails are fun, so.
How's your day going, Olivia?
Pay attention, pay attention, well,
We love you.
you know how the day's
I
going.
do.
You're like, social media is a dumpster fire right now. But yes, 1099s, end of January, fill out the form if you didn't, send your referrals, just let me know though, so I make sure I see them. Okay, thank you.
Olivia, can you touch base a little bit on social media and maybe as realtors, our professional standards say that we should maybe keep quiet about some of it?
Can I just say on behalf of ALC, absolutely, you represent them.
Oh, okay.
That's so perfect, Amy.
Here's what I'll say. I'm not quite ready to come out with a total statement yet because we're going through some things right now. We hear you. We understand that you're frustrated with some of the folks inside of this brokerage and what they're posting, what they're saying. And you have a right to do that. What you don't have a right to do is have profanity in your profiles and in your pictures and what you're posting with the brokerage name. I don't need you posting like if you want to peacefully protest, I am totally cool with that. That is your right to do so. What I don't want you to do is do that and then post your for sale sign or your open house sign or whatever that has the brokerage logo on it and say, I'm going to, you know, go work now and then I'm going to go back and, you know, like there's a line. We're just trying to figure it out because I don't want to offend anybody. I want everyone to have their freedom of speech, so to speak. But when you start bringing in the brokerage and you use profanity, I'm not okay with that. Not at all. Okay. So that's what I'll say for now until I have a few more calls with some folks and figure out what I can say and what I can't say. So,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
have two things.
yes, please. We just
A reminder to all
probably
of
should
you.
have turned it over to you.
Oh, no, just
You're a
really
little
brief.
bit more.
A reminder to all of you, you signed an independent contractor agreement. It might be a good idea to go back and review that. And also, as realtors, we adhere to the code of ethics. We just went through our code of ethics contest, so you know where to find it, you know how to reference it. I would encourage you to look at that as well.
all right, well,
I'll
that's the
just
meeting.
add that our passion is what makes us good realtors. But like people have sent me social media posts of other people and they're like, this is your office. And we all feel differently and both can be true at the same time,
Totally.
right? There are
100%.
very different opinions and there's elements of truth to both. It's just when you use social media as your war ground, when you're representing KWPR, that's my wagon. I pitched myself to. So.
Makes it real tough for Cicely out there.
Right, for recruiting, yeah. Because half the state, half the world agree, and half do not. So just keep that in mind.
Use it as a platform of positivity.
That's our goal, right? Yeah. That should be our mission. That's who KWPR is.
Because we change a lot of opinions by sharing our.
Every time.
I fell down on so anyway, I guess let's start over.
All right.
All right, welcome. Oh, I just want to say, we have divvied up some of the roles for the MCA, and I have become the chief lore officer. So I didn't get to do all the numbers for you guys. Hey, who can sing this number right here?
8675309.
You look around, those are the old people. And that's okay, that's okay. That's okay, because for the price of a dime, I can always do lore for you. Here's Laura, let's look at this year. So instead of doing the month to month, I just did the full year. Both are new records for average sales price and total GCI per agent. Way to go. And these are like really big numbers, and these are not as big, so I'll talk about these. Units closed, highest since 2021. Let's give it up. Pretty dang good. That's the third. Way to go. And listings sold, highest since 2021. Can we just remove 2021 from our records? So you just say record year. It's like
Sales were falling from the sky.
Yeah.
Because the interest rates were.
Manna listings, manna.
it was nuts. And speaking of nuts, look at how much red here is for us. So this is what the North Star MLS is doing month over month, year over year. Cute little single digit numbers compared to our double digit
Superstars.
numbers.
Right.
Don't look at this one. Don't look at listing volume taken. But the good news is that's just month over month. And throughout the year, we did make up for it. So we have some big numbers there too. So this will be in your social media. I know the Corns and a couple other people take this and put this in their listing agreement or listing packet and show how much we kick ass.
Do you have those online yet?
This will be there today.
Okay.
This will be there today.
Jamie,
Yes, sir.
is that December of 25 or November?
Oh, sorry. This didn't change. I didn't change that. It's just 2025.
Okay.
Thanks. I appreciate it. No, that's great.
It's for the whole year.
Yeah, well,
Numbers.
pardon me, this is December, month over month, but this is year over year. Pardon me. So we need to update that to December.
To December. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
December stats.
Thanks. This guy's still working on it.
Yeah.
It's the visor. I need to read the ledger. So thank you for noticing that. But, and look at that, 180,000 given back. Let's give it up to that. Was 04, 05 is somewhere up here. So nice work, nice work. Especially since we're talking about giving back to our agents, let's welcome up Toddy. And let's get your song.
Thank you.
I'll have to make sure the song got in there for people.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so there are these little QR codes on your tables. It is to kind of, those of you that remember the flip signs, it's kind of the same concept so that you have it all in one place and kind of in your face when you sit down at the team meetings. Except those take a lot of time. And we tried to make it more efficient. So if you scan that QR code, it'll bring you to a Google Doc, and it gives you a list of the upcoming trainings and events, as well as the 2026 calendar. Please know that that is as accurate as we can get it. Things may change come July, August, whatever, but that's what it's looking like for right now. And then it also gives you a link to the training calendar. So if I were you, I would scan that QR code and then bookmark it in your phone so that you do have a consolidated place to go and look at everything besides the training calendar. So just so that you know, those are there. The CE Blitz is tomorrow and Friday. So if you signed up for that, that is wonderful. We will see you tomorrow. We did hit the required amount of people to have it go. So I think as of right now, we have about 35 people with the recruits that are coming. So that's really great. If you see people that are not from our brokerage or that you don't recognize, please just say hello. We want them to get a great feel of what our office is like and our culture. And Jamie and I might ask you day of, hey, this is so-and-so. Can you please kind of help them along a little bit? So just keep your eyes and ears open for that.
There will be 7 of them.
Several of them, yeah. Any questions on
What
CE
time
with
does it
for
start?
Thursday and Friday? There will be lunch.
What time does it start?
It starts at 8:30. Yep. Okay, the awards is coming, just a reminder to please get signed up. I think as of right now, we have about 43 people signed up, plus their plus ones. So we typically do have quite a bit more than that, so if you are planning on coming, please make sure that you get RSVP'd. We will be sending out an email in the next week or so, just as, you know, another reminder, but please make sure you get signed up. Again, black tie is just the name of the event. It is not required that you come in black tie apparel. If you're looking for the right thing, it's around cocktail attire-ish. If you don't know what that means, ask Jason. He has a great idea of what that means, or you can ask ChatGPT, or Grace or I are always available as well. There will be gluten-free and vegan options for you to eat. And we're not 100% sure what those are yet. I sent an email yesterday asking, but please know that that will be available as long as you clicked that on the form that you are either one. If you didn't or you're unsure, you can always ask as well. Okay, family reunion is coming February 21st to the 24th in Atlanta. So those of you that are signed up and are going, please look for an invite to come to the pre-family reunion meeting that will be happening next month sometime here in the next couple of weeks. And you'll get an itinerary and kind of a rundown of what the week there is going to look like. Just as a reminder, there's a lot of really amazing speakers this year at Family Reunion. You know, obviously Jay Shetty is going to be there, Gary Vee from Social Media Day. So definitely packed full of value, and I know everyone's getting really excited. We do have a virtual family reunion ticket, so we will be doing the virtual experience in the training room, again, like we usually do. So more information will come out on that in just a little bit as well, but on Monday and Tuesday, you can expect there to be things going on at the Market Center and the training room to make sure that you get the experience of the digital experience. Any questions on any of that? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Patty. Nice work as always. You had all mentioned too that at the beginning of the team meetings, you might want to do some more interaction. So let's do some interaction. You guys ready?
Yes.
Or are you kind of too chill? I know you're always ready.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, ready? Okay, let's participate. So reaction versus intention, talking about Jay Shetty. Thought we'd add some of his thoughts from his book. So it's gonna be a stand-up, sit-down exercise. We can do that. Participation is encouraged, or you can stand in solidarity with your chair. And if you're on Zoom, standing is optional, and nodding with conviction counts as cardio. So part of this is also health. So, okay, so how this works. I'm gonna put up 5 different statements, and if it resonates with you, stand up. If it doesn't resonate, stay seated, and we'll go from there. Can we do this?
Yes.
All right. Standing doesn't mean failing. It means you're conscious. And we can't make any change unless we're conscious of something first, right? So, and again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about awareness. All right. Stand or stay seated. I start most of my days reacting instead of choosing how I want to show up. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Stay standing. Does anyone else come up? How often you wake up and immediately react to urgent tasks, checking phones, typing emails
Taking
rather
dogs
than.
out.
Well, that's your first problem.
Well, the dog counts. Dog counts. All right, thank you. Thank you for that. So maybe come up with a game plan the night before, like Kyle was talking about, you know, envisioning the next day the night before, and then you start the morning the way you want. Thank you for reacting. Sometimes I let comparison steal my focus or confidence. That's an easy one for a lot of us, right? So seeing another agent's listing your team numbers can breed doubt. and the social media, which we just talked about, the comparison is a reflex. I don't know about you all, but when you see all these great things posted and all these great numbers by other agents, you don't know what's going on inside. You haven't seen their P&L. You don't know any of that, right? We compare our insides with other people's outsides. So let's stay aware of that. Thank you. What's the next one here? I know what I should be doing, but I don't always do it. All right, yeah. Gap between intention and action stems from fear, distraction, or old patterns. Not a lack of intelligence. So congratulations on that. As Jared talked about, we have old patterns, and it's important to become aware of those so we start making new tracks. All right, there's two more. Once things slow down, then I'll change. Once things slow down, then I'll change. Oh, interesting. This is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. The seductive lie tricks us when I have more time, but someday never arrives, right? We have to, as Jared said too, decide. Decide means to cut off. So we have to decide what we're going to cut off during our day to make it more important. Now, here's a tough one. Here's a real tough one. My best self is ahead. Come on, everybody, get up. Come on, out there. Best self's ahead. All right, let's give you a round of applause for playing. Thank you. Awareness is just the beginning. Jay Shetty says, define yourself by your career, your appearance, or possessions, and you outsource your self-worth. Where does your worth come from? Here, and those of you of faith, whatever your faith may be, comes from there. So it's not any of these things that we attach our identities to. So who or what's in charge? I imagine these are the biggest things in your life. We get to decide. We get to choose, and we had an amazing ALC member step up, wanted to help with this project. So pick wisely. Give it for Jen, she's a trooper, she actually agreed with that. All right. I sent that to her, it's like a joke.
I thought I was in the clear, but no.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put it in the team meeting as a joke. And she's like, hey, I'm a trooper, go ahead. So, speaking of troopers who we pick, Brian, come on up. They're tired from all standing.
Exactly. All right, today I want to talk about non-QM mortgages. But I'll start with what's a QM mortgage, and it's a qualified mortgage. All right, so 2011, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, was established. And in 2014, they came up with guidelines. I mean, we were doing you had high credit scores and you stated your income, we were doing those mortgages. All right. Well, in 2008, 2009, it just spiraled. People couldn't refinance because they were told they couldn't anymore, or those mortgages were going into foreclosure and the whole market spiraled. So that's why basically the CFPB was established, and they came up with what's a qualified mortgage. It's probably 95% of the mortgages that get done. FHA, VA, conventional. So all the mortgages that we consider, let's say, standard mortgages, those are all qualified mortgages. And really all that is as a lender, you have to establish somebody's ability to make the payment. And that's looking at pay stubs, tax returns, W-2s. They can't just state their income. And so really 95% of the mortgages we do now are qualified mortgages. You got to prove that somebody can make the mortgage payment. All right. There's no risky loan features, negative amortization, balloon payments, interest only payments, things that could put a customer at risk are not considered qualified mortgages. All right. So maybe the other 5% are non-qualified mortgages. And this is a market that you just need to be familiar with, and it's available. Really, the CFPB doesn't regulate or look at these. It's not a qualified mortgage, it's a non-qualified mortgage. Now, these might require manual underwriting, all right? You're not just plugging it in and do the automated findings. Yeah, we got it approved, or nope, we didn't get it approved. It's typically manually underwritten. You can use different income sources instead of pay stubs, W-2s. We're looking at rent receipts, investment accounts, business receivables, which are not standard ways to verify income.
Stated income.
Stated income, correct. Looser debt ratio, you can go to higher debt ratios, lenient credit qualifications, you know, a day after bankruptcy and you put 30% down, somebody might want to do that loan. That'd be a non-QM loan. Likewise, after a foreclosure. Those might be you know, geez, it's after a foreclosure, you know, Fannie and Freddie, they're not, no, you gotta have a certain wait period. But somebody's putting, again, 30% down, you just had a foreclosure, that might not be a risky loan. Somebody might want to do that loan. So who can benefit? Self-employed borrowers. You know, you might get somebody who works at the state fair and they get all their income in 1 month. It's tough to prove monthly income in January when all their income was in August. Real estate investors, it's not up here. Fix and flips houses, non-residents. You get people who come from overseas, want to buy an investment property. They have no credit scores, you know, credit scores that we're familiar with. You know, we can't verify their income, but they're putting maybe a lot of down payment. Non-prime, again, if there's credit risk, people that are not going to fall into the QM, maybe there's still a path for that. And assets. You can actually do a loan with somebody who's got a lot of assets in the bank and they got no income, monthly income. All right, that's not going to be a QM standard type loan. It's going to be a non-QM. So examples, I talked about this a month or two ago, the debt service coverage ratio. You know, you don't need to prove income. Hey, look at, I can make $3,000 a month on this rental property and the whole total payment is $2,500 or even like $3,000. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. That with down payment, that can make sense to somebody, but it's not going to be a way to, you're not verifying income there. That's just, or you kind of are, but you're just saying, geez, I can basically break even on this and I'm putting 20 or 30% down. That makes sense to somebody. Again, that's a non-QM loan. It's not a qualified mortgage. So, but there's an avenue for that we talked about. Assets. You know, if somebody's got $500,000 sitting in a savings account, but they don't have a job, no income. Well, QM, 95% of the loans will say, you better just pay cash for it then, because you don't have any monthly income. We can't do anything there. Well, non-QM, you can, you know, even maybe even down to 60 months or higher. But let's say you divide that 500,000 by 60 months, that's $8,000. Non-QM could count $8,000 a month as income. Even though they don't have a job, they have nothing. All right. That would be an asset loan. In fact, actually, so QM, if somebody's got a 401k and they're retired, $1 million in your 401k and you're retired, you can set up, and you know, you got Social Security, $1,600 a month. You can set up with your financial planner, whoever's holding that $1 million, a monthly draw of $10,000 a month. You don't even have to get that first draw, and I can count that $10,000 as income. All right, but if I grab $5,000 this month, I don't need anything this month, $2,000 this, that is not monthly income. But if you set up a formal draw with a financial planner, I can use that $10,000. Yeah, okay, so bank statement loans, all right? For self-employed people who, you know, it's not the same check every month. Sometimes there's no check in a month. And so, and can't see it at the bottom, and who's it for? Who's it for? Gig workers and side hustles. Maybe that's cash, but if you can show deposits into a bank statement, even though your tax returns, oh yeah, I made $100,000, but we want to nickel and dime that as much as possible to get that as low as possible for Uncle Sam. And that might kill us in a QM market where we're just looking at tax returns. What's your net profit? Pretty low. Well, here we can look the same person. Let's look at the bank statements and maybe we can get that income higher with 20, 30% down. That loan can make sense to somebody. So what are the drawbacks of a non-QM loan? It's going to be higher fees. Larger down payments are going to be required typically. The rate is going to be 1% or 2% higher than a QM loan. And it's going to be higher risk. If there's a balloon payment coming after 2 years and there's a year and a half later, there's a family emergency or something happens and suddenly their income isn't what it was. So they might be forced to sell or lose the property, so it's higher risk. And so in general, it's going to be a little more expensive cost-wise, rate-wise, because it is a riskier loan. Any questions on any of that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there a ballpark number of the number of non-QM loans that happen every year?
Just roughly 5% of our mortgages we're doing are non-QM. The bulk are qualified mortgages.
But baby boomers, moving into retirement, work more every day or whatever. Did that number increase at all?
It could more and more. We're a little bit shy and somebody's retired. Any kind of 401k, I'm squeezing more income out of that. And we're doing that, what are your assets? Well, geez, we can squeeze more income out of that, even on the QM side. If you can't, possibly on the non-QM side, there's more income that we can squeeze out of it. I don't know that.
Well, I had a guy call on one of my properties. And wanted to know if it's seller would do financing, contract for deed. Perhaps I should have had a conversation with him about maybe he could qualify for something like this.
Right. It's a possibility. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thanks, Brian.
And once again, we do tend to take for granted the people we do have here. I do not. He is not only a great business strategist and AI guy, and he's a dear friend. So let's welcome.
And now.
Recurring joke we had to set up. Gotta always set up the jokes. I want to start out by talking a little bit about AI, and I want to start that conversation about AI by saying some feedback that we want to be more practical with AI that we talk about. And I want to be practical about that with you. To the best of my knowledge, Liza, very new agent with us, Clarence, literally brand new agent, has a very different AI need than Brent's, Michelle, Sarah, Scott. So when we talk about practical, if you want super practical AI help, I like giving super practical AI help. And you can schedule an appointment with me to do stuff that is unique and special to your business rather than the general conversation I'm going to have here, because I want to tailor it to what you need, your business need. One of the coolest things I think that's out there from an AI perspective is a program called Folio. And what Folio does is it'll go through your email and it'll pull out transactions based on the transaction. Here's the cool thing. If you've got a transaction coordinator, it doesn't matter. I could talk about that till I'm blue in the face, but it doesn't matter to you. So I want to take some time and go over some things that I think are general good AI stack stuff for you. AI stack, that sounds like a nice thing, sounds technical, he's got it. But I'm going to encourage you now and later to make an appointment based on your business, because I think that's how I can get you the most value that will deliver for your business, not just general business. So with that in mind, what's an AI stack? Well, I think there are 4 critical tools that you can use, and I put a star by one, so we're gonna come back to that. But Otter AI is super, super, super important. And if you've been on a Zoom recently, you've probably seen Otter AI come up. Like it says, Pam's Otter AI has joined the call. I don't know what that is, but it's something. What Otter does, we'll talk about in just a little bit, but I think it's super important, and I'm gonna talk about how to save you time. ChatGPT, super important, but ChatGPT in general is a large language model. You have access to Gemini Plus for being a Keller Williams agent, and it's very similar. There's also one out there called Claude, and it's really similar. And one of my favorite questions is, which one should I use? Well, that's a unique question. It's very valuable. And the answer is, I don't know, the one that works best for you. And what I would do is honestly, to solve that problem, which one is best for me, is I think about 3 questions. And it doesn't even matter what the questions are. You put it into all 3, and the answer that comes back that you like is the one that you use. Because your preference for how it represents you is more important than my opinion. But in general, Claude does a nice job of writing plain English. ChatGPT is probably the jack of all trades. Not best at anything, but pretty good at all of it. And if you go the other way and you say, well, what does Gemini do well? Gemini does a great job with your pictures. I played with pictures on all of them. You want to edit pictures, you want to take the furniture out of a room, I'll tell you what, that's where you go to Gemini Plus. It does a great job with that. What are your business needs? Your business needs might be very different than somebody else's. And so testing it with a couple of those ideas will give you a pretty quick example of what you want. But if you want the best overall, most neutral thing, it's going to be Gemini. The other ones are weighted towards specific things. All right, Gamma turns your ideas into polished decks. We didn't talk about this last week. We're going to talk about it now. This entire presentation is done on Gamma. We don't do a lot of work anymore. We just tell it what we want it to say, and then it figures it out for us and it puts it up here. Now, of course, Jamie will tell you that's not entirely true. But at the end of the day, it creates our slide decks. But I'm a real estate agent. Why would that be valuable? I'll tell you in just a minute. And finally, Notebook LM. Notebook LM is new from Gemini and from Google. Not quite in Gemini yet. But one of the nice things it does for you is it takes what you've put in there and keeps it consistent and is a much better research tool for what you do. And it does a lot less of that ghosting and artifacting you may have heard about. What's that mean? It doesn't hallucinate as much. AI is known for that. It's not that kind of thing. But let's talk about Otter AI. What Otter AI does is it allows you to never lose details again. Records your meetings, conversations, generates transcripts, summaries. Who uses Otter AI? Okay, a couple of you. Have you ever been in a listening conversation and wish you remembered what somebody said?
Oh, gosh, yes.
I'm telling you, if it was recorded, you'd know. And it can record the entire conversation. You put it in a transcript. You can then create a summary of that thing and send it back to the person you had the appointment with. So not only do they know that you captured the information, but they feel very good about the fact that you understood what they said because you have a summary of your conversation. It allows you to go through it. You can use it in coordination with your ChatGPT as an example and say, what are the things I need to follow up on in this conversation? Literally pull it out of there and have that information available to you. You can share call summaries with your team members, with your clients, if you're your accountability group, if you're in an accountability group. You can share all of that stuff with another person. And finally, build searchable histories of client conversations.
Hey, Jason.
Yes.
Can I ask, for those who are using it, are there any compliance things, like we need to let them know we're recording this, or?
Minnesota allows one way, as long as one party is informed, then you're fine. I can't speak to if you leave the state. And the other part of it is when it comes to that stuff, don't take them to court based on what you recorded. If you're using it because you use a note taker, then it's for your notes. If you want to get into the legal vagaries of that, this is a singular thing, but you can record any conversation that you have. You should notify the person. And if you say something very simple like, hey, Sarah, I'm really excited that we're gonna have this meeting today. I'm just gonna record it so I make sure I don't miss anything that you tell me is important. And I'm gonna be honest with you. And it's gonna be okay. 1% that's not, you won 99 times out of 100. And I'll take the 99 wins every time. But anytime you're recording somebody, it's nice to let them know. For ChatGPT, we all seen it graph listing discussions or descriptions. But I think if you try and use ChatGPT a little bit better than that, and if you've been in some of my classes, we've talked about this. How do you figure out what's unique about your property? Use ChatGPT to help you figure out who the likely buyer is for your property. Use the listing description to market directly to that person. You're gonna win because it's gonna think a lot faster than you can. Write all your follow-up and nurture emails through there, craft it in your voice, redo it multiple times. All these things are possible. You just have to get it the way you want. Create social media captions and content calendars, people all the time. Say, I don't know what to post. I don't know what to post. I don't know what to post. Just post something. So give you something to post. And once you post it sufficiently, frequently, and consistently, you'll know what people respond to, and you post more of that. But if you're not starting, you're hurting yourself. Prepare for scripts for calls and appointments. If you haven't, then I think most of you have been to an appointment here where we've talked about it. We've really gone through and done it here verbally out loud. If I pull up ChatGPT, and I will in just a little minute because I have a description I want or a demonstration I want to show you. But if we go through that, I can actually role play with ChatGPT to help me get better. And if I go back to here and I upload my conversations, have it analyze my conversations and say, hey, what are some things that I could do better? ChatGPT is going to say, here are some places that you might have done things differently. Now I'm going to role play those things with ChatGPT. I can literally use this as an engine to improve my results. And market updates. I swear that I did not put this in here. Like this actually is from Chat. It came up with that. But I'm going to say that my good friend here weekly produces a fantastic report that for the life of me, I cannot decipher. And if I can't decipher the raw report, there's a solid chance that the people I share it with can't either. And so I put it in there and I say, please summarize this into very basic language that's easy to understand and very repostable. Boom, I get a very quick summary. Steve knows I got that. He's part of the gang now. But how many times do we have stuff like that? If you go to SPAR right now, you get a nice market summary every month. You go there and they have it right there. And it's 7 pages long. Who's gonna read that? I know I'm not. And your clients aren't either. Put it down to bullets. Give me some digestible chunks. ChatGPT, Claude, all of the various formats can do that very quickly and easy for you. And then it's just a matter of reading through it, making sure it makes sense. All right, Gamma, what does Gamma do? It's going to build presentations for you. Build listing presentations quickly, create buyer and seller guides, training materials, which hopefully none of you have to do a lot of. Turn notes into client-facing visuals and refresh outdated slides without redesigning everything. Here's, I think, the best case scenario for it. Most of you have seen somebody post something on Instagram that says, click below to get my free guide on how to buy a new house. Where is your guide? Gamma can help you create that guide quickly, efficiently, and easily, and update it for you when you want to make changes so that you can have a postable, shareable, consistent lead magnet that you can share with your clients based on what you're advertising. Gamma can do that for you instead of you spending hours or, God bless, paying my good friend Grace to make it. Now, I don't want to undersell Grace. Grace is probably going to be better. But at the end of the day, you can make these things very quickly. If you want to do your next first-time homebuyer seminar, it can make the slide deck for you. You don't have to do it. And the great thing that you want to do, and again, this is why these things are all related. If I take everything that I want to do, put it in ChatGPT and ask it to create a prompt for Gamma, it will design the prompt for Gamma that will produce the results you're looking for. They work interdependently, right? And if you've recorded your conversations and say, these are the things I say every time in my presentation, can you include those in my presentation? And can you make that presentation for me? That's why I call it a stack, because they're all related to each other, and how you use them becomes very interdependent and very unified together. Finally, Notebook LM. All kinds of fantastic things that you can do with research. It does a far better research job than just going into ChatGPT and doing, asking the question. So when I use Notebook LM, I have written out our productivity program for all of our new agents. Yesterday, I had a fantastic phone call. I have a once a month phone call with productivity coaches throughout the region. We always have a great guest speaker. And I furiously write notes because, that's how I was taught. But I've learned now just to copy those notes, and I put them in a notebook. It already has my program, and I say, based on my program now and what was presented in this class, what can I incorporate immediately into the program today? What can I immediately incorporate today? And what are some things longer term that I can put in there as well? Does anybody ever go to training classes? Anybody? Sometimes you do. And sometimes you walk out of that class and you go, wow, there's some really cool stuff in there. I don't know what to do next. This can help you organize it based on what you already do, if it knows what you do, which is why it's important to have it help you document your processes. But then it can refer back to those same things. And if you're using Otter AI or another similar sort of thing, and you record that training conversation and you upload it, it can compare those informations between the two and help you digest that. And that is where ChatGPT comes in, right? You can use that to formulate a new idea based on this and this. What would that look like? All right, so all those things are super important. They're very valuable. Some of them, like Notebook LM, are free. Some of them, like ChatGPT, Gamma, or Otter, are not. But I can promise you this: if you spend hundreds of dollars attending a training and you furiously write down all your notes, and then you're like, hey, excuse me, can you go back and repeat number 3? Because I missed that. The cool thing about having something record that for you is you can actually pay attention. You don't miss number 3. You got number 3 and 4 and 5, and you could pay attention with your ears and your eyes to what's going on, and later come back and get the notes and get them summarized for you. And if you're going to take it to the next level, you take that thing that we just talked about, that document, you throw it in a Notebook LM and say, make this into a podcast version that I can listen to. And then have it give that to you. Can you just give me the 5-10 minutes of this? Cut this entire training presentation down to this. You do that ChatGPT, but Notebook LM makes it a little bit better, and there's a little less ghosting for this type of exercise. And that's why they work really well together. They're fantastic. All right, one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that you think about this, because we're gonna do this in a demo. And I've already selected a fantastic human being because there's some information I need to know. But one of the things I have done in appointments before, and every agent who's done this with me has found this to be super helpful, is to look at your online presence. And you can go to this, it'll open your ChatGPT, it's super exciting. But what it will do, You guys will be very excited when I get the two-factor authentication. in just a second. So when you click on that. Right, wrong day. Having too many identities will definitely confuse you in the long. I'm done.
There's like a song to play, maybe.
Every time. How many times? I'm just so glad to see you struggle with it.
That's what I
because that is
said, like,
me
every single
every
time.
All right, so what that will do is it will take you to the online presence. You can click there to start. I've already done one, so I'm gonna take you through that. And when you click that, click here to start. It's gonna say here, start with stage 1, agent info intake. And it's gonna take some practical information from you. Your name, your brokerage, what city do you work in, what's your real estate website, links to your business profile, Zillow, Realtor, Facebook page, how many reviews you have, and then it's summarized. So I used a witting person. I let her know, Kelly got the fun here. So at any rate, it summarized all that information for you to check it. And then once you say it's correct, it comes back with an online presence audit. So you have active things. Most of us have active accounts on all three, even if we don't know it. They're there because Realtor and Zillow pull them automatically. If you don't have a Google business profile, it'll flag that out, which is great. Where your website is at, and are you focused, and does it show in the various items you have where your focus is? What is holding you back specifically? In Kelly's case, there are minor bio variations between platforms. So what does that mean? That means in one place, one day back a long time ago, when homes.com came on and she saw her profile on there, she's like, oh, I need a bio for that. A few months later, somebody said, hey, you know, they have your bio on Zillow. So, really? She pops that in. Now, the crazy thing is, believe it or not, she changed and didn't necessarily have the same bio in both places. But that's really important to how the algorithms work. Because if it wants to present, if Google wants to present information to you, it needs that information to be consistent. Think of it as like a policeman rounding up the usual suspects. And the usual suspects are Google, Zillow, Realtor.com. And if they don't agree on a fact, Google's not going to use that fact. So their agreement is super important. And that's why this process is critical to making sure your online presence works well. Additionally, brokerage naming consistency can be tightened. I'm guessing somewhere it says Keller Williams Preferred Realty, and some places it says Keller Williams Preferred. I didn't actually scope this one out in particular. And headshot and brand visuals are not perfectly matched everywhere. Again, the consistency of what you do online matters. And using this tool, it will do it for you, not Kelly, which is even more. And so what can we do quickly? Use one standardized bio, same headshot all places. Reviews and reputations, 55 Google reviews. This is strong. Likely buyer and seller mix, there's a good mix. Gaps holding back, no Zillow reviews, right? These don't consistently mention Lakeville, neighborhoods, buyer seller scenarios. Believe it or not, when I make a comment on your Google profile, one of the first things I do is I would say, Sarah Anderson is a fantastic realtor in the South side of the Twin Cities or south of the river in the Twin Cities. And it does great job helping buyers and sellers. I want to be specific because if the internet searches, there are certain things that I want to make sure it goes. So if I say, and especially now, if I'm searching not on Google anymore, but in ChatGPT, in Gemini, on Claude, on these things, if I say, I need a realtor to help me buy a house in Lakeville, bing, bing, all those things line up. If my reviews just say, she was great to work with, hey, you've won the day because you got a review. You really did win the day. But if you want a perfect review, you want to have a few more items in there that make it more specific. And you may have to guide some of the people to that place.
But that's also why it's important to reply to every review, right?
Yes.
So you could put your own words in there. and
That
make
is
sure
a
that those are in
perfect scenario. AI friendly content, what's working, the website's present and indexed, social profiles are active, no visible FAQ style content. Believe it or not, they don't just want to see your picture. If you can summarize, have a little thing on each of those things that says, here's some common questions people ask when they're looking to buy a home. If you answer those, they will again see you as an expert, not just your clients, but the search engines that they use to find you. So that becomes super critical. No Q&A blog posts that show AI systems can quote. When I search on ChatGPT, when I search in a large language model, which is what more and more people are doing, it wants to be able to return an answer that is complete to the searcher. So if it doesn't know what to say about you, it won't say anything. So you can stuff the ballot box and tell it what to say by posting these things in a regular way. Add 3, and so the quick win would be add 3 short FAQs to your homepage or your blog. How's the Lakeville housing market right now? What's the average home price? Lakeville good for first-time buyers? You do those kinds of things, it's going to give you a better score. Authority signals, Color Wind brand authority, local activity, few visible local backlinks or citations, no media chamber or community directory memberships, right? So if they're looking out there for her and nobody has linked to her page, she's not as reliable a source as somebody whose other people are linking to. In the end, if you want to dominate and be #1 search when people are looking in search engines, these are the things you have to do. You have to ask people to do that. We're gonna get to the bottom where we're gonna come up with a strategy for some of these as well. Consistency and trust signals. Here's what's working, slight difference in bio working, profile, photos, contact formatting. We've talked about that a little bit before, but it matters if you just have one headshot, one bio, one format, use it everywhere. Contact format. Do I put my email at the top? Do I put this, my phone number second? Do I put something else third, my website third? Just keep it consistent. Take one thing, copy it, paste it in every place that you go. Overall, Kelly's score is 66 out of 100 for that. And what that says is, it's good. It's good. It's genuinely good. There are things you can do to get it better. And it will give you a 30-day action plan of what you can do to get it fixed. This is an important and useful tool for that. But you're also going to say, Jason, I don't know how to add FAQs to my website. It sounds good, but I don't even know how to do that. I started this meeting by suggesting you make an appointment. This is something very specific that if you have a question about, I can get back to you fairly quickly. We can make an appointment. We can go through that. But not everybody here needs to add FAQs to their website. Not everybody here needs to label blog or page image, descriptive things. And some people who do need to do that already know how to do that. And that's why I'm not going to dive deep into those pieces, but rather how do I use a tool like this? And this is through ChatGPT, by the way. Fantastic person made this. It did that, made it available to everybody, so you can just use it yourself. But you can also use it then to track. Today I'm at a 66. I'd love for you to save that. Let's do it again in 30 days and see how much I've improved. Keep working on it. Because none of this stuff should be the most important thing you do today, because the most important thing you do today is gonna be lead generation. Always the most important thing you do every day. It is the 20 that will get you the. So what questions can I answer for you guys today? Outside that I'm not going to answer by saying kwpr-dashboard or make an appointment on kwpr-dashboard.com.
Can you please put that QR code back up?
I can put the QR code back up. I'd love to.
Thank you.
What else we got? Nothing speechless. I think it's the heat. It's hot.
It is.
So has Kelly made an appointment?
Good question.
I haven't had time yet.
She's been legion.
Someday.
Get in.
I'll
Someday.
get in as a legion.
She gets enough time.
Would you stand up for-
Thank you.
stand up for that one someday.
So please make an appointment. It is a huge value to you. And if you're not making an appointment, I'm not available all the time, like I used to be. So you can't just come down all the time to my office. Sometimes I'm doing things.
Jason,
Yes.
She's probably gonna say it. It doesn't seem to go anywhere.
Okay, cool. So I'll post it on where?
On ChatGPT.
kwpr-dashboard.com. You will find a link to this right away.
Okay, thank you.
It worked for me earlier today, but who knows? Maybe my phone is just nice because
I
it's been there
just clicked
twice.
on it, and it looks like it's not working, but in your bottom left-hand corner in alt gray, it says, click here to start, but it doesn't, it's not obvious.
You're so techy.
No,
Impressive. I love it.
That's why we're bringing Tony Cater on as assistant.
Just have all the tools.
And in a week, knowing Tony, she'll be in charge.
Yes, you
Sure,
do.
that was a.
I don't have
I think so.
Right, well. All right, I know some of you were trying to take pictures of this. This is great. So which one should they start with, Jason? I'm just kidding. Today we don't have anything officially planned. However, next month we're gonna start back with connectors. And Misha kindly sent me a great text that you're gonna host today anyway.
I just typed, it
At
will start
12:30.
So is this
gonna
everybody
save
the
now
next
so
thing
that I
can go?
in your, it'll be in your ChatGPT.
So as soon as everybody staying is out. I like that. And if you're having any second thoughts about family reunion or mega agent camp, this is what you're missing out on. Okay. Hey, let's give it up for Jason. That's amazing. Thank you all. We appreciate you so much, and warmth and grace be with you.
How do I save it so I go back to it later?
I'm like, I don't know, but I'm like, I try, I know,
My big thing is it always comes back and yells at me because I can't tell the difference of residential for Beltline
Coming from Whiker,
and the
Miracle
number
area.
address. But all of our stuff is Beltline Zebra Beltline office. My Google profile is Beltline, so it's like it doesn't like that. And you can never find us because it's like, well, where are you? Are you in Burnsville or are you in?
Yeah. I'm excited.
Oh, that's, yeah. No, and that I knew because I have.
They're all-
Yeah.
I sent them, I sent a mailer out to my.
And I should ask her, I'm sure she runs the same thing. Burnsville and her office down there. You know.
But yeah, I just sent it out.
Like when I did my first thing, it was like, well, where are you?
And I said, invite your agent friends. And so when they.
I don't know. All their agents.
Yeah.
Make sure you put that on and look you up, you know, like this address. But I even had clients that have said, well, since you're in Marshall,
Yeah.
I know, but I can live about
Okay.
my name. You do have an house here, so
Yeah.
it's a little scary.
Yeah.
We're just trying to, I think they always yell at me about it because it's broker.
Yeah.
As a few.
Oh.
Usually they negotiate it. No, I've asked it, I'm like, because I've even had clients that are like, well, I thought you were about right. I'm like, I am. And they're like, why do you come up for me?
I like the book.
Nothing that can. Huh? So just keep trying to add those $90 come up.
I did like the book.
I really like the pass through. That small world, you're sitting there and all of a sudden I gal that, well, there is, I'm walking in and I'm like,
Oh, okay.
here's our cousin. Yeah, and John's kids are my oldest and three of his girls. Yeah. Why are you here? She goes, well, I know why you're here. I see you on Facebook. And she's like, but we're cousins. I'm like, oh my gosh, what a small world. So actually, it was a lot of fun visiting with them and their daughters. So her daughters. So yeah. How was the party? Oh my God, it was fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So many questions. What's happening? Here's the wine and pleasant.
It was but so we just, we got I had to bring him back from the fire and let's pile
Oh, that's what it is. I'm like, what is that? That's what I just said.
I think the best way to describe it. Grandmothering over and over again. And she just
And that's when Jason Keith, she's still president and works for, like, I didn't have a.
but if you wanted
About Friday. Friday would be good.
I was like going for my phone. But I think I closed my chat because it didn't work, so why am I keeping it open?
How's your market going? Beltline. Are they going to be listing? Are they? Okay. Yeah, that's better.
And if the market tells me I have to reuse that, that's my approval. And frankly, paid by our house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dealing with one of those right now too. But yeah, when you add into that, I'm like, ooh, we literally just did a market on one that's on that same road. And that's, I think I told you that, that's the new one. And I'm like, so that's on the other side. And there's another one sitting, it's on the other side, it's on the Belle Plaine side, so the Belle Plaine zip code, Belle Plaine address. they started at millions of houses more, and they have more acreage, all the things, but that also has just been sitting. Stark has that. But it is better.
They won't